Alright, welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings here. Yeah, here I am. Inmendham, blah blah blah, who cares, whatever. And such. And so forth and whatnot. I guess I could go all the way over there and cover all that crap. Maybe that's a good idea. Yeah, I covered it there. Anyway, alright, video, usual kind of thing. Blah blah blah. My video card on the computer crashed, so I have to use a different method for making videos. So, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And we'll see how it goes. So anyway, alright, subject. So, yeah, I did make the one video today, and yeah, it's a little bit of a ramble, and, you know, tries to cover probably too many subjects, and doesn't do a very good job of it, but whatever. It's food for thought kind of thing. You know, should provoke thinking. Just saying provoking thinking, you know. Just saying the word thinking. Are you thinking? What are you thinking? You know, that should provoke thinking and about what you're thinking. Yeah, and why you're thinking it. That's the key part. Why am I thinking what I think? Because I'm a robot. I'm just gurgitating a bunch of logical sequences. I'm just spouting what a brain has compiled together as being a way of explaining, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, blah. And so it's just about what kind of songs I've learned in terms of reciting the basic alphabet of this robot. What this robot has learned, been programmed to think is meaningful and important and blah 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 blah, and how to say it and all that kind of crap. Right. Alright, so we'll play some of today's video and see how inspired we are. Now, I have to be careful because there's some images in the video that I probably can't show on YouTube, so I probably have to pause between migrations in the video. I also can't scroll in this format either, which is sort of annoying. So, I guess I'll pause. Well, I'll jump ahead. We'll see how we do. Well, it's dangerous to jump ahead, actually. So, yeah, I'll do it. I'll pause and then do that. Alright, so let's see what I'm saying here. Great. Can't hear anything. Oh, damn it. So it's not playing. The audio isn't playing on the video. For some dopey, stupid it plays on my computer, okay, so I have to reformat the videos again. Damn it. Alright, pausing again. Just see if I can get away with this. Anyway, yeah, so I have to reprocess the MP4 video I made earlier because there's no sound on it. So I had to convert from an MKV to an MP4, and it takes about 15 minutes. Blah, 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 blah. It's just irritating. I mean, you know, it's the same, supposed to be the same file. It should be converting with the same program. I mean, you know, it's just irritating. So anyway, since I'm here, I figured I might as well just, you know, let you know what I'm doing while you're not participating entirely. Yeah, what you're missing. Part of the fun of making a video. Alright, back. So, that didn't work. Yeah, so, well, okay, at least the sound works, but now it's squished the formatting, which will play okay inside the web page, but yeah, if you play the video independent of the web page, it's squished too much. But whatever, we'll live with that. So let's see, it should play now. Those both the same, blah blah blah. So some of that might be good. Change might be a good thing. So it imposed itself, but the imposition is for the better. Right. Okay. So yeah, all these little things that, you know, like I said, the video card is controlling my life. So the video card farts out, and you know, my life changes. And, you know, that's sort of a profound thing to realize that all this little stuff, just little stupid things, and, you know, they're all changing how you live and how you're reacting and what you're going to do tomorrow. It's all being decided by a bunch of external events. And that if you really think about it, everything you're doing has been decided by external events. My life history, you know, every time I went fishing or played baseball or did, you know, all of those things have all added up to create this, you know, the product that says these things for whatever motivations and reasoning, and through whatever chemistry is, you know, getting activated by trigger words and all of what triggers me, everything. It's all decided by, you know, I'm a byproduct of the world. I'm not a byproduct of me. I didn't make me. You know, me doesn't have anything to do with me. It has everything to do with you and the world you've created. Ironically. Anyway, so, yeah, I've sort of made that point before. Probably better, but whatever. Alright, so I have to pause again. Okay, back. Should be. Anyway, this video is probably just going to be a mess. It probably won't be a video, right? And so I'm doing it for nothing. So that'll be another experience, you know, another exercise in futility. So anyway, this image is not bad as some of the other images that are actually in the video, so I have to evade those because they're really not YouTube friendly. Censoring Google won't allow reality. Anyway, you know, that's a whole other subject I kind of wanted to talk about. Is, you know, we're moving along in terms of what number Google video I'm up to, and so eventually, I guess at 100 I'll quit, because yeah, there's no energy. Nobody wants to fight the control of the internet by corporations, and it's kind of funny just because, you know, I grew up on the original internet. And everybody was hyper about keeping it clean, about keeping the corporate hands out of it. You know, I mean, Microsoft was recognized as such an abysmal evil in terms of it wanting to control what we could see and how we could see it and all that kind of crap. And everybody was really focused on keeping the whole thing honest. And somewhere, you know, the new generation moved in. And the young people, and apparently they aspire for nothing decent. You know, they have no values. They're just nihilist, pig, selfish fucks. They're the worst. The spawn of my generation sucks. You know, and they really, you know, they're really obviously horrible people, because yeah, they've taken something that should be, it should be the we the people net. We should own it. It shouldn't be the property of these fucking corporations. And the fact that people have so willingly given it away. I mean, you can't even find a peep of protest. It just really surprises the shit out of me. Yeah. Damn. Anyway. I mean, I have to, it's so vast beyond my generation, I guess. They turncoated, you know, just like they did with, you know, the 60s, and then they, you know, they went from the whole peace movement, the whole live free or die kind of thing, and they turned into discotheque turds. I don't know. Well, whatever. It's just, I don't know who to, you know, I wish I could blame something, but, you know, it's just, people suck. Alright, so wherever I was, let's see what I have to say. I don't have a very pleasant face there, so apparently it's not going to be a pleasant thing. Yeah. Stupid to want to keep your functionality as efficient as possible. Alright, so just just getting into the dieting stuff and health and all that kind of crap, and you really, you know, yeah, it makes some sense if you're going to be here to be healthy while you're here. But living longer, I don't know if that makes much sense, because frankly, you're going to live that longer in kind of a cruddy state, you know, as old person. And it's not a great state to be in, old. It's not much fun. I mean, it's wrinkly and, you know, yuck, smelly, and, yeah, yeah, it just doesn't. It's not a. It's not a. It's like being. You know, it's like going from being a tiger to being a cow. You know, it's just kind of a degrade in functionality, and you want to spend more years tigering than cowing, I guess would be a metaphor. Something like that, anyway. Now do this pausing thing again. Alright, back. But the basic diagram is kind of easy. You just need to put in enough of these molecules that it can use. Oh. So it's just diet crap. So about, you know, the fact is that, you know, it's just a digestive system, and that's all it is. And so you're just basically saying, okay, you're putting stuff in, and you're going to get a certain amount out based on how long the stuff is inside of you. So the shorter the time it's in you, the less calories you'll get out of the food you eat. So if you want to eat a lot, you better poo a lot. And if you want to be efficient and less stress on the system or whatever, fewer molecules to exchange, fewer bits of crap to metabolize, then yes, eat less and, you know, poo less. Yeah. Get more calories out of the calories you're eating. Take them. Process them. What's better? I would argue on the antioxidant scale, you want to put less in because that's less oxidants. So I would argue, I think it's better, okay, to go with the eat less, keep it inside you longer than the eat more and do like the gorillas do, you know, eat a bunch of roughage and just eat 10,000 calories a day and only keep 1,100 of them. Yeah, poo all day. Now, I don't think that's the winner, just because I think that is actually more stress on the system. But could be wrong, so don't, you know, don't take it too seriously. It's just my addition, you know, how I add up the facts. That's the way it comes out, is you eat less, there's less chance that you'll eat something that'll kill you. Sort of. Anyway, less damage can be done the less you eat. So the less you eat, get more calories out of it. So eat foods that are easy to get the calories out of, like the breads and the grains and all that kind of stuff, because it's easy to get the calories out of that. And avoid the stuff that's complicated and thick and heavy and dense, because that stuff with the big molecules, your body can't do anything with those molecules, so they just bang into the frickin' process and just make a mess. They're just like eating glue, you know, they're just going to gum it up, so to speak. So eat the simple stuff, because that's what your body ultimately uses, is the simple stuff. Alright, anyway, something like that. Alright, so enough of this nutrition crap. I'll try to move forward enough to evade that one. Gotta keep track of when I'm on, when I'm off. Yeah, I can't, so much. That's a funny image in the background anyway. It's do not God back there. Anyway, let's see what I said. Pieces, and, you know, you're making little swords. Okay, so I was talking about eating carrots. The fact is you're, you know, eating stuff that's going to kill you. And such, and so forth and whatnot. You know, it's more, you know, the reason why your body gets rid of it is because, yeah, it's not doing it any good. So as much as the fact is it has all these nice things in it, if your body doesn't like the shape of the form it's in, it's not going to be able to suck any value out of it anyway. So you have to eat it in a form that your body can actually use it. That's where, you know, it gets complicated, because, you know, some people say don't cook anything, but frankly, cooking helps digest, pre-digest the food for you, so it sort of makes all this stuff easier to access for your body. It's a lot easier to get it out. If it's in a big giant chunks of carrot are sitting inside of you, your body's not going to absorb much out of it, frankly, compared to if it's mushy, you know, cooked, then it can get more out of it. Yes, you ruined some of it by cooking it, but you also made it a lot easier to access what's in it by cooking it. So, yeah, it's a complex subject, actually. Alright, should be back again. It's jumping ahead 5 seconds at a time. It's really irritating. I have to find some other way to scroll these picture-in-a-picture videos. You know, there's bits of energy.
joules of energy even. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I actually was literally talking about a piece of bread. So anyway, too boring. Okay, we'll move on. Tedious. All right, hopefully this will be something different.
Again, it's just this simple metabolism crap.
Oh, crap, it's still there. Damn it. Okay, so yes, just metabolism. So you want to lose weight, you just have to eat. You can eat it whatever you want, as long as you don't keep it. You know, so as long as you get it to go through you sufficiently fast, you won't get anything out of it. So you can eat 10,000 calories and only get 1,000. But if you're going to eat 10,000 calories and let it sit inside of you, then you're not going to win the lose weight battle. Alright, finally, on the economy little stuff. So here I'm drawing the idea of stuff in the world, and that basically it's owned by somebody. Theoretically it could be owned by all of us equally, or we could allow one person to own everything and we just rent from the owner. And yeah, we've sort of chosen the rent from the owner model. But that, and that, you know, I eventually was going to draw cash, and cash is just a claim on actual stuff, because the government does own some stuff and it can back up the cash, because the cash is only $2 trillion worth of cash, which is really easy. And the problem is really the debt, the IOUs for cash. Those are the problems. So the 40 trillion or $50 trillion the government has printed as debts, IOUs, bond money, borrowed money, that's the real huge liability, because that's not real claims. You can't collect any of that money. Those IOUs are uncollectible in any theoretical, realistic way. If everybody who owns a bond tried to get their money tomorrow from the bank, the government, they couldn't get it. And if the government did give it to them by printing cash, well then obviously what the people are getting is valueless crap. So that's the dilemma. Obviously the government debt isn't the only problem, though. It's a whole bunch of individual debt also that is going to, when the system starts degrading, the flat tire is going to get really flat really fast. It's not going to lose air slowly. It's going to lose air a lot all at once. It's going to be a blowout kind of thing. Alright, so lots more stuff drawn now. So we have the cash here, the IOUs, the billions of dollars in debt. These little things down here were bank and store, and I was just pointing out the difference between now and 1929 is the government debt. The government didn't have $45 trillion worth of debt in 1929, so it could come to the rescue, but it can't come to the rescue this time. And that what ruined 1929 was really just banks and stores, because they gave out a bunch of uncollateralized lending. They let people buy everything on time, and all those people eventually broke the deal, so to speak, and so they lost a big giant pile of money because people didn't pay their debts. Yeah, pretty much. And so everybody tried to get what they owned out of the system. They tried to get ownership of their assets, and by attempting to do that was basically a run on the bank, and the banks didn't have the cash, and so everybody went bankrupt essentially, because people couldn't pay their bills because they couldn't get any cash to pay them with, because the banks couldn't give them the cash they were owed, kind of thing. Alright, yeah, that's enough of that. It's getting really irritating. 5 seconds at a time, it doesn't work. Anyway, so I have circled the debt, you know, and then I put in different little extra bits trying to explain how the debt works, and that you know, like housing, you know, 90% of the time houses go up in value, so banks do really well, but every now and then they start going down in value, and that's where their collateral starts not meaning anything, because what they own as an asset isn't worth the money they gave away to buy the asset. So yeah, so all you need is the right circumstance. You put that, you know, housing prices going down at the same time as oil prices go up, or some other little trick, and all of a sudden it stresses the system a little bit, and there's a cascade of bankruptcy. But that's what you really have to look for, is when the system starts allowing things to go bankrupt, and where that line is of where it says it's too big to fail. Because that's all they've done to keep the system running, is they prevent everyone from going bankrupt. You know, because as soon as you allow one person to go bankrupt, then everybody's going bankrupt. Almost. It's almost that bad. And so they're just trying to stop the chain reaction of bankruptcy. And they're doing it in just the fakest way possible. I mean, just pretending people didn't lose their money. That's what they did in 2011. There was a $10 trillion worth of losses. Well, it's probably more like $15 trillion worth of losses. People lost their money. And basically the government just stepped in and guaranteed all of the bad debt. They just took it all away by guaranteeing the pieces of paper that are garbage. So there's a bunch of garbage on the stock market that's not worth anything, except the government says it's worth something. The government says, I'll pay. It can't pay. It can't pay its real debt, let alone pay this fake guarantee of lost money, you know, of bad stocks. Can't make them good if people actually cash them in. The government doesn't have the cash, can't buy the cash, can't trade for the cash to pay the debt. They can't collect enough in taxes to pay what it's covered in losses. Pretty simple. Alright, so now you can see the drawing really has got messy. But each little line had a purpose at the time. But yes, I couldn't, even I can't unravel this puzzle of mush. But anyway, the idea is kind of simple. Debt is bad, okay? It's not a good idea unless it's collateralized. Loaning money isn't a good idea unless you have some hold on failure, and unless you're rich enough to afford to accept failure, somebody not being able to pay. So anyway, alright, so we'll move on to the next subject. Alright, there, finally. I'll play some of this now. That didn't work.
When they're not. And the only way they can make them into something they can critique is to pretend they advocated for murder when they didn't.
Right, so this just has to do with how people just want to change the subjects. The subject's about imposition and about people's right to be creators, you know, make Frankensteins. Not only the social liabilities that procreators create, where, you know, it's the responsibility of people who don't procreate to pay for their kids' education and pay for cops to help their kids out and all the welfare and all the other crap, you know, that is involved. They're, you know, imposing this obligation that other people subsidize their, you know, pet choices, essentially. And, you know, so that's kind of rude. But just the idea that they're allowed to create these victims who will pay a high price for this behavior, you know, with this ambition that they're going to create some wonderful thing. And the simple argument is if you add up all the wonderful things, they're not all that wonderful in the first place. It's all just cosmetic and fake and phony, because if you look into the real lives of people, it's never all that pretty a picture. You know, there's lots of Hollywood endings, you know, where they're hanging themselves from a doorknob. You know, it's not a good story. So, you know, all these winners aren't really winning too much. And the losers are all over the place, and the blight of our society now, you know, it's like it's all over the place. The marginal lives, and certainly the much less than marginal. And then if you throw nature into the mix, you know, you can understand that it's way too expensive. I mean, all the dead kittens, you know. If you have any capacity to empathize or even do basic logic, you can understand you wouldn't want to live all those horrible, miserable, terrible ends. You wouldn't want to be, you know, boiled in a pot over and over again, ground up, you know, sliced and diced, slowly have your brain eaten by a parasite. I mean, all these terrible things that can happen, and you wouldn't want to experience them. So why are you pretending this is some obvious question. It doesn't, it doesn't require any thought or any conversation or any argument. And to sit there and malign the people who are merely saying at least pause, that's the anti-natalist message, is saying at least pause, and think about what you're doing. And I'd say the Evilist message is a little more aggressive in saying that no, we got to do better than pause. There's a real obligation to face the real hard fact that the only way it's going to stop is for us to stop it. And, we have to come up with a way to do that, a way to gracefully allow there to be an end to this mass murder thing. And you're not going to do it by just saying it's against the law. It's not going to be good enough. But there's no reason for anything to be harmed in the process, and that's a fact. And so the pausers and the people, even the ones that are more aggressive, aren't saying there should be any harm. And the only way there's going to be any harm imposed is because some protester is going to spit in a cop's eye or something. They're going to sit there and do something to force there to be harm, frankly. Yeah. Alright, so we'll move ahead a little. Okay, I see what we're saying here.
This predator-prey game.
I was just going to say that. I bet you this is the predator-prey part, because the predator-prey thing was right there on the screen. And I remember in the video being triggered by that. But yeah, that's the game we're playing. It's a steal game. Steal somebody else's energy. Steal what other people have. Again, there's just no way to play the game without, if you're going to be a winner, you're going to have to create losers. You're going to have the trophy wife. It means somebody else isn't going to have her. It's just the fact of existence, and it's a terrible game to be advocating for. It's not a game worth playing, and it's certainly not a game civilized people should be enthusiastically subsidizing, supporting, defending. Alright, let's see what's here.
It's too high a price. I mean, I would argue that I could just take the sea turtle thing. I could take any example of the terrible attrition, the numbers, the very little time spent by the turtles doing blissful, happy things versus the horrible, awful experiences.
Yes, again, it's all, it's the mass murder of baby everything. Kittens, puppies, turtles, all of it in their immature state, and they're mass murdered. What? How do you make that into a fairy story? There's nothing, who's defending it? Because it's called nature, it's okay. Because that's the way the universe is, somehow that's okay. So when it doesn't have a brain, and it does it for no good reason, it's okay. But if it has a brain and does it for some wacky reason, it's not okay, even though the outcome is the same. That is just too ridiculous. Yeah, okay, that's too ridiculous. Alright, might be coming to the end, I don't know. Can't remember.
So, I think we'll call that a video,
yeah.
And such. Yeah.
Yeah, so I probably just babbled about something at the end to say, well, this is the end of the video, and this is going to be the end of the video. So how do I make the video end? Oh, I could make this go away. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so there. I got that out of there. And I could just move this over here. But yeah, that doesn't really work. The drawing is in the image. Hell with that. So anyway, yeah, so it's enough of a video. It's good practice. Anyway, I'll figure out all this crap and it'll be better. And I'll probably just get a new video card and go back to the way I was making videos. Who knows? Haven't decided. So like I say, sometimes change is a good thing because it forces you to see things a different way and maybe see some better way. But yeah, most of the time change sucks. So something like that anyway. I think so. So I guess I'll go that away. Yeah. Alright. So this is the end of the video. Yeah, just another inmendham video. Sorry. Yeah. Yes, I have to do better. I'll work on it. Blah 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 blah. All right. So I'm gone now. So you can go also. So till the next time and such, so forth and whatnot.